Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In this story, Opie describes a relationship where their partner, who exhibited signs of narcissistic behavior, kept them hidden from her family, shared details about her abusive ex, and engaged in manipulative behavior. The partner maintained contact with the ex, lied about her whereabouts, and eventually blocked him on social media. This took me by surprise, so the first thing I should have noticed was that even when she was love-bombing me heavily, she always kept me hidden from her inner family circle, mom and stepdad. But a cousin met me and her cousin's back in her home country. That was a shock. So anyway, while on FaceTime, she would always ask me to put myself on mute if she didn't have an ear. She talked a little about her ex and what he did to her, punched her, and she told me that I was a welcome change. However, here is the thing. It must have gotten so bad when she was with him in Cali and she moved to NYC, but he didn't want to leave. She was 26 and he was in his 40s. So whatever happened, they split for a long time, and it was about 1 year until they saw each other. She kept a trinket that she brought over that he made from his little fingerboard company. At the time, I didn't know that object was from him. She said, "My friend made this for me." Then he started spam texting her. She would block the number, and he would make another virtual number and spam text and call her at work. I had a hell of a time trying to tell her to change her phone number. She gave me the most annoyed look when I told her she must have liked the abuse. She gave me a stern look and said, "Don't say that about me." I don't know what clicked in her head, but she finally changed her phone number, and the text stopped. We went on vacation together to Miami Beach, and we had an amazing time. But she said, apparently her ex found out she went to Miami Beach with someone, and he was annoyed. Now, I wished I knew what her response was on the phone to him about that. Anyway, I was staying at her house for a few weeks. I would see her on her phone and think nothing of it. I remember my Snapchat went off, and she got so annoyed, she reached over my leg and tapped my phone. And I just looked at her, and she said, Snapchat was for cheating. I had a blank look on my face. So I unlocked my phone in front of her and said, "Oh, hey, it's my friend from work. I work at UPS." So he was just chilling himself near the shoreline. Boy, she felt like a total idiot. If she had a tail, it would have been between her legs. That was the second time she ever did something like that. Okay, getting to the meat of it now, she took a trip out west to see her mom and siblings, which lasted 5 days. On Saturday, she called me. I blew up on her about liking a post minutes after it was posted, but she didn't respond to my text. Like 8 hours later, her response was, "I just didn't want to talk to you." Mind you, this girl was maybe 5 weeks later sending me so many emojis in the morning, or she would keep her FaceTime on all day at work so I could see what she was doing. I thought that was a bit much. She did let me know on Thursday she was headed to Lou, and that's when the daily FaceTime conversations ended. I found out she lied to me about it, and it was a bad one at that. She told me that her stepdad had her car and had taken over the car payments. He lives in Nevada. However, before she left Envy, I asked her where her car was, and you could tell that I had caught her off guard. She scratched behind her ear and said her dad had it. So after she left for law, the car showed up in a picture at the lake in Bullhead, AZ, but it had Cali plates on it. After about 2 days of not hearing from her, she sent some photos, and it was vegan spots she said were dear to her. However, in one photo, she was sitting in the car and the steering wheel had an oil spot on it. In the other photo, she was holding a cup. And maybe an hour later, the ex took a picture in the driver's seat with the same oil mark, meaning they met up. She told me she had a seafood tower dinner. I didn't even bother to ask who she was with because it was obvious. The best part was, instead of saying she gave the car back to her dad, she said she left it at her cousin's house. And get this all, that talking and FaceTime, She didn't even let me know she had arrived back in NYC. She got back to my text like 2 days later, and when she called, she was at the subway station waiting for the train. And when she said, "I'll text you when I get home," she never did. I didn't hold my breath. The number of lies. She was trying to not let me know she was talking with the ex again, but I already knew when I saw she had added his 2 accounts on Instagram. She has since blocked me, but not my phone number. I took like 3 days of reading, and I feel like I have so much more to learn about narcs and codependency. I feel like I've been put on a shelf for safekeeping. Even now, it's just so shocking. Like, when she was in NV, she had no issues keeping in touch. But when she got to law and back to NYC, she went silent again. I even sent her a photo yesterday, and not even a response to that. Oh, and yeah, in regards to the codependency, when we were dating, I was gone for 2 weeks, but we FaceTime for hours each day. She felt so bad that I came a day early before the 2 weeks were up, and she was crying, thinking I wasn't going to come back anymore. This just had me second-guessing if some stuff she said was true or not. And that's just a horrible feeling to have. Today's second story. In today's story, Opie discovered his wife's affair 2 months ago, leading to the decision to divorce. The wife is now pregnant with the affair partner, who is a felon. He is seeking full custody of their 5-year-old daughter due to concerns about the affair partner's lifestyle. He is determined to prioritize his daughter's well-being, despite emotional challenges and an unexpected encounter with the wife expressing regret. Now let's get into the story. I caught my wife in an affair 2 months ago. We had been together for 9 years, me married for 5. I'm 28 now, so we met rather young and did a lot of learning and growing together. She always had guy friends that she would talk to, so when she mentioned that she was catching up with someone from her past, I didn't think too much of it. Honestly, I should have taken that as a red flag throughout the years. But me being a chill guy and not the jealous type, I didn't make a big deal out of it. We have been struggling in our marriage for the past 2 years. I've made a lot of mistakes not cheating, just many moments where I could have been a better partner. She also has made a lot of mistakes in that sense, yet I have been trying to save the marriage, constantly trying to do things to fix our problems, and always asking her if she wanted to talk. With that goal in mind, she didn't want to try. She asked for a divorce and kept telling me our relationship was over. I asked her what her plan was. She said she would start making plans and let me know, which she never did. She was comfortable with me supporting her and trying to help her with her mental health problems. She's bipolar and has depression. For the last 2 years, it's been a big part of her life. In December 2020, her dad and I had to take her to a behavioral hospital for the whole month because she became manic. Once she got out, she was on medication, and it was obvious she wasn't the same person that she was before. I figured her wanting to split was due to her mental health, so it became another reason I took it easy on her with her talking to all sorts of people and going places without me and hanging out with people I didn't know. I loved her and didn't want to stress her out or make the situation worse by getting onto her all the time. It just led to arguments. She would tell me she needed to live her life that way for her happiness. We have a 5-year-old daughter. She loves her daughter, but she wasn't focused on being a mother and wife. I was the one pushing for our family to stay together and find happiness in that sense. About 2 months ago, she didn't come home at night. She had been doing that for some time and would tell me she was spending the night at a friend's house. That's when I started to get really suspicious. She walked in the next morning, and I asked if there was something that I need to know. She said no and went to bed. For the first time in 2 years, she left her phone open, and I told myself it was now or never. I took the phone and walked out of the house and started going through it. I found the guy's number, called him, no answer. Then I saw the messages, proof that they had been intimate. I was shattered, but I kept my composure, went back into the house and confronted her. She was like a deer in headlights. I kicked her out that very moment. Now she's pregnant with the guy. I'm positive it's not mine. We were last intimate in February, and apparently they first hooked up in March. Now my goal is to try to gain custody of my daughter and divorce her. The guy is a felon. I don't know what kind of lifestyle they plan on living, but I definitely don't want my daughter around people that make those types of decisions. I'm motivated by making sure my daughter is in a good place and to make sure that she knows that she has one parent at least, trying their very best for her future. I struggle every day still, but I have a good support group. My family, my friends, even her dad and some of her family say they are on my side. Everyone sees that what she did was completely selfish. It doesn't make a good image for her or the family in any way. I think a lot about things that I could have done better, but I realize it wasn't my fault. I tried my best to save my marriage. It was her decision. The week that I caught her, I found this subreddit. It's helped me tremendously, and I felt like it was time for me to share my story. It motivated me to hit the gym as well as concentrate on productive activities to distract myself from all the overthinking and to better myself for my future and my daughter's future. Update. This past April, I found out my wife was having an affair. We had been married for 5 years and together for 9. When I found the evidence on her phone, I promptly kicked her out of the house that very day. That same week, she ended up getting pregnant by the affair partner who was a felon. We have a 5-year-old girl together. My SDBXW was putting my kid around him. He has a 10-month-old. So she was using the excuse of having my kid with them so the baby could have a playmate. I told her that if she wanted to have time with her kid, then it needed to be just her and my daughter, not them. Well, neither of them wanted to listen to me. I filed for divorce and filed an injunction against her that said she cannot put my daughter around him. If she did, then she would be committing a crime. It seemed to have worked. It also seemed to have caused a rift between them, enough to where she asked her dad if she could move in with him so that she had nowhere else to go where she felt safe. Other than that, I don't know many more details. I don't talk to her much, only if involved talking about my kid. And even then, I try to keep it short. Her parents and I are on good terms. They understand that it was their daughter's fault and respect that I'm the one that needs to be in charge of my daughter's life. I filed for full custody. My lawyer went ahead and threw in child support. My SDB accidentally got herself a lawyer and they offered to settle this in mediation. The first proposed date would have been in December. I thought about it and decided to postpone it till after the holidays, since all of our birthdays are around this season as well. Her due date is in January and the next proposed date for mediation is in April. So that would mean if everything gets settled in mediation, it would be a full year since this all started. If she doesn't agree to my terms in mediation, then we go to court and it'll get ugly. I'm fighting for what's best for my daughter. A person like my SDBXW can't be trusted and responsible with my kid based on her decisions as of late. This doesn't mean that I want to keep my daughter away. I'm willing to let her see our kid on a weekly basis. But the authority and decision-making for my child need to be up to me now. This is also difficult. I have to make one of the people that I loved most in this world my enemy. Now I'm full of anger, deep sadness, a degree of jealousy for someone having been with the woman I loved, and a level of confusion. Confusion in regard to how everything changed so quickly and if what I'm doing is 100% right. About a month ago, she showed up at the house unannounced. She asked if we could talk. So I stepped outside and talked to her in the carport. She asked me for forgiveness, crying to me how she regretted everything, saying that she regretted deciding to keep the baby, telling me she missed everything about us and the family we had in her home. It hurt to hear it because deep down, I miss all that too. I told her that it was not that simple, just showing up and speaking those words. I said that I couldn't forgive her just based on that, and that the only way I would consider forgiving her would be for her to show it through her actions, and that I couldn't tell her what those actions should be. It needed to come from her heart, her mind. Yet my forgiving her wouldn't mean I was giving her a chance to reconcile or even a chance for us to be friends, which is what she asked for. My forgiveness would only be that forgiveness. She chose to betray everything she had with us to be with this other person. She can't just backpedal. I told her that she was not allowed in my life, and I didn't want to be a part of hers. The most we could ever do is be co-parents. That's the price she paid for her decisions, among other things that will still unfold. I have to be this way because I gave everything I could to try to save the marriage. We were having issues, but I never cheated. I made other mistakes, but I worked to try to make things better for all of us. However, she's the one that made the biggest mistake, and doing so fully aware of how wrong it was. It's not fair to me to allow her back in my life. It's not fair to my child to confuse her in that way. I'm going to push forward and make a better life for my kid and me. I will be successful in my ventures, and that is the best revenge that I can get. I guess the main reason I wanted to rant is that the holidays and our birthdays are coming up. It'll be the first time in 8 years that we will have to spend the holidays and birthdays in this way. It hurts even more so because I told myself I wouldn't acknowledge those days to her. I don't feel like texting her Happy Thanksgiving or Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas. And honestly, I hope she doesn't text me either on those holidays and on my birthday. I don't know if that's cold on my part or rightfully justified, but that's how I feel. The only time I will be willing to work with her is our kid's birthday, which is also coming up. That way my kid can have both her parents on her special day. Even then, I'll most likely ask her dad to be the middleman in certain things. Well, that's mostly what I wanted to get out for now. Maybe after the holidays, I'll rant again to prepare myself mentally for the mediation. I want to thank the subreddit once again though. On my most difficult days, I come here and find advice and motivation through other people's stories. Maybe one day my completed story of surviving infidelity will help someone else. I wish everyone a good holiday season. Let's be around those people that do love us. Let us enjoy that holiday magic, even during these turbulent times. Take care and keep strong.